Jesus is back. There is some really cool data that I'm about to show you. And I want to begin with this reflection from Scripture that comes from Matthew. He basically says, when he sees the crowd, he has compassion on them because they are confused and helpless like sheep without a shepherd. And there's something super interesting about how Matthew is actually getting into the kind of the psychology, how Jesus is thinking about people. And as a social researcher, I always think about the anonymity of the surveys that we collect, and the fact that people are giving us input about what's happening in their lives, and they'll admit the most unusual and honest things in our surveys. It's a very sacred thing for us as social researchers to understand people's loneliness and their isolation or their addiction or their struggling with suicide or whatever the questions might be. And so I always think about our social research as behind every statistic is a story. And behind every single person we interview, we get the sacred honor of listening to them and understanding a little bit more about what they're experiencing. And Jesus continues, Matthew is recording this, of course, saying, "The harvest is great, but the workers are few. So pray to the Lord who is in charge of the harvest and ask him to send more workers into the field." So friends, this is what's pretty darn cool. There is a harvest. And so this is the first way we can prepare. I've got 4 different ways we can prepare for our spiritual moment. And this is unusual from some of the talks you might have heard from Barna people in the past, because sometimes people think we have the spiritual gift of discouragement. But the truth is, we just try to follow the fact pattern. We try to follow where the trends lead us. And right now we've got some really cool data because we can prepare for this spiritual moment of openness. Look at the data here, where you can see that the last 3 years, there's been a steady increase of the percentage of Americans who say they've made a personal commitment to Jesus Christ that is still important in their life. Friends, Jesus is back. That is so cool. That represents 30 million more Americans today than when the pandemic began who say they've made a commitment to Jesus.